we are officially back to the videos where I discuss Ninjago hot takes, because it has been a couple of weeks and you guys certainly have had a bunch that I want to talk about. Because Ninjago is a show where anyone can have any type of opinion and it is just as valid as the more popular take. But the hot takes are certainly the more interesting ones because they're the ones that a lot of people wouldn't necessarily agree with. But someone is that faithful enough in it that they are more than happy to discuss it with a lot of confidence. And that is why I make these videos. And like I said, the previous 3 videos where I've discussed hot takes, you guys have provided so many good opinions that I have found very interesting to say the least. So, of course, it's time to make a part 4. So just like that, welcome to Ninjago Hot Takes Part 4. And let's quickly talk about a criteria, because I have mentioned that I do have one, and simply put, it's one that at least makes some sort of sense. If the hot take is completely based in a complete hypothetical, I probably wouldn't be mentioning it. But if it is one that has some sort of reason and logic behind it, I am more than happy to talk about it. And that is mostly it for the most part. But let me not waste any more of your time, and let's talk about them. And the first one is gonna come from the first Kate star, because I missed this one for the previous video, and I do owe this for him. So I found his comment, and let's talk about it. And his hot take is: Aaron and Sora are better written from their first season than the OG 4 were from their first season. Yeah, now I will be completely honest, I do agree with this, because the ninja for the most part weren't really expanded on too much until, well, the latter half of season 1 maybe, and then more so in season 2, but as we've gone further and further along, of course they have. And honestly, this does to an extent show the writing or the stretching pains when it comes to the writers of the show. And obviously by the point of Dragon's Rising, they were very much in tune with what they wanted for the show. So yeah, I do think Aaron and Sora were better written from the get-go because their personalities were established a lot quicker, their motives were established quicker, everything that you need to know about them was established quite quick on. And obviously, we did notice that the core 4 weren't really done that because they didn't really know where they were going at first. But I do think to an extent that that is okay, because honestly, the show really was in a good place in those earlier seasons, and we also didn't know how long Ninjago was going to be lasting. So I don't think they had enough time, if anything, to fully develop the individual 4. So after season 2 in particular, obviously we had seasons where we covered, say, who Zane was, Kai's motives, Lloyd's fear of being alone. We do get a lot of different things in the later seasons, but that's because we knew we had enough time. Whereas obviously with Aaron and Sora being newly introduced in Dragon's Rising, it was easier to develop them more much quicker on. So yeah, I do agree. So Kate Star, that is an interesting one that I definitely agree with. But let's get into the next one. But thank you very much. I will also say that these videos, typically, I do try to not read the hot takes beforehand. But like I said, I needed to find that one. So that one was a little more scripted than the rest. But I promise the rest of these hot takes I haven't viewed yet. So let's take a look at the second one. But like I said, the second one is going to be coming from Brickstar5. Hello, my friend. And your hot take: the OG villains should come back in a season and not like a mini movie like Day of the Departed. No, I don't agree. I don't. The thing is that I, in of itself, do have a hot take where I do kind of like Day of the Departed. I actually watch Day of the Departed every single year on Halloween because it's become unintentionally a tradition, because obviously that's when it first released in 2016. But honestly, I don't think we need another villain return because, well, a lot of them are dead. Obviously Dragon's Rising could change that, but the thing is that at the same time, I think most of the villains have just done everything they need to do. I think a lot of them have just served their purpose. And honestly, I think I prefer the idea of just Ninjago giving us more fantastic new villains. Because, well, take Dragon's Rising, for example. Raz is a fantastic villain. I love Raz. And I'm glad he exists. And if it meant we'd get Raz, or we'd get, say, Chen returning, I would have picked Raz any day of the week. Because Chen's great, but also I think I would have just rather have him as we've had him. Not just have him for another season where we could risk maybe messing him up. So, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but I do think I disagree. But honestly, thanks for the comment, and it is an interesting one. And the next one, or the third one to be more specific, is coming from I Am Taco. Hello. And you have three by the looks of it. So the first one is, I personally think Mr. E dying wasn't a bad thing. I think it was a pretty good scene and showed how ruthless Garmadon could be. Honestly, I was more angry about not getting to know enough about the balloon. Oh, yeah. So I agree fully with what you're saying about Mr. E. I do think him dying was almost perfect, and also I'm kind of glad he wasn't revealed as Echo Zane, because I think him dying almost just as like a nameless robot was kind of better, but the scene in of itself is incredible. I think the fact that they really amplified who and what Garmadon was going to be doing is honestly amazing. I think Mr. E was a perfect example of that, because you wouldn't have been able to do that scene with anyone else. So yeah, fully agree with that. And the doubloon bit, like not knowing more about him, I mean, you have that mini movie where it explains he's a thief and that's how he learned spinjitzu and everything, and he got his Two-Face thing because he lied. But I don't agree with that, because we do know enough about the balloon. I don't think there's too much we need to know. So the mystery stuff, yeah. The doubloon stuff, no. And your second one is, I think Master of the Mountain is overrated. It's not just slow, but it's also really repetitive. I mean, honestly speaking, I do think season 13 has potentially one of my favorite final episodes. I absolutely love the Son of Lily. But the thing is, season 13 in its entirety, it's a good season. I fully believe it's a good season. I don't think it's overrated. I disagree. But I don't think it's repetitive. I think it has some cool stuff. I like the miners arc, like with all the slaves. I like all the things with Cole, everything with Wu as well. I do think overall it's a really good little season. So I get what you mean, but I do think I'm going to have to disagree with that one. And your last one is, I really like the rebooted suits. Even though they don't have leg printing, I really like them. And honestly, you kind of captured my opinion on it completely. Because the thing is that everything about the rebooted suits are really good in my opinion. But the problem with them is the fact that they lack leg printing. Also, that weird phase at the start of the season where they just didn't wear gloves. It's really weird. I don't understand that either. But honestly, I really like the rebooted suits. I don't think they're for everyone, and they kind of exaggerate what Soto always says, which is they're pajama men, because I kind of see it with the rebooted suits. But yeah, I do still like them, honestly. And yeah, the lack of leg printing doesn't help it. But those were your hot takes. Thank you for sharing them, Taco. But let's move on to the next one. And this one's coming from Captain Penguin? I think that's your name. I mean, it's a penguin for a cover photo, so yeah. You didn't take mine from last time, so I'll bring it back here. Okay, and let's hear it. Tournament of Elements is overrated? Oh god, okay. Don't get me wrong, the tournament part is great, but the end seemed rushed and repetitive. Chen was way more powerful with the Staff of the Elements, rather than being a mid-Anachondri. Yeah. Now, when I say yes, I need to make it clear that Tournament of Elements, I don't think it's overrated. I think it very much earns the pedestal that it's being put on, because it's an amazing season. But I agree with what you're saying about Chen. Like, Chen is way better defensively when it comes to being an Anachondri. But the thing is that offensively, he was really good with the Staff of Elements. I mean, he easily took down Lloyd, the prophesied savior of the land, just without the energy power. And then he took it, and then he became an Anachondri. And obviously, it would have just surrounded the ninja getting their powers back just from that staff. But honestly, I do fully agree. I do think to an extent, Chen was gonna have a much easier time just with that staff. Maybe that was his plan. Maybe that was the initial plan. Turn themselves into Anachondri, and then he still has the staff. But maybe the powers would have been drained. I don't know. But yeah, I do agree. Staff Chen was way more powerful than Snake Chen. So, yeah, I agree with that part. But Tournament Elements is not overrated. I'm going to be honest. But thank you for the hot take. But the second to last one for today is going to be coming from It's the Quenchiest. Hello, my friend. And your hot take is, I think the second half of Season 2 is as boring as the first half. I always skip Season 2 except for the last episode. most times I do my rewatch. It would have been a terrible end to Ninjago. Oh my god, that you have officially given the biggest hot take in my opinion. I'm gonna be honest, this is one of those ones that make me love these videos. So for note on the comment section of this video, if you have a hot take like this one, and you want a guaranteed spot in a video, ones like this, oh my god, this is crazy. So of course I disagree. Of course I do. I love the second half of season 2. I really wish I got more context on what you think makes it boring, because I'm gonna be honest, I consider the second half of season 2 basically the Stone Army, the episode where they fight the giant stone warrior. That onwards is the second half for me, because it's after the mega weapon, of course. But that episode, what's it called? The Stone Army? I don't know. That is a fantastic episode. The day Ninjago stood still, another brilliant episode. The Last Voyage, love it. Island of Darkness, Rise of the Overlord. Oh, it's such a good season. It's such a good end. How do you not like it? Honestly, Quenchiest, if you are listening to this video, please comment on why you think this is more boring. I couldn't disagree more, but I really want to hear your expanded thoughts on this. I will pin it. I will make a video about it, because this is crazy to me. I need to know more. Thank you for commenting this. Honestly, I can't give this one enough justice, so I'm going to leave it there and just say this is possibly the one I disagree with the most. But yeah, please tell me more. I'm so into it. Thank you. But the final one for today is going to be coming from T-Late Maz 66. Is that how you pronounce your name? I'm not sure, but hello, welcome to the channel. Your hot take. What they have done with Jay in Dragon's Rising is really good, even though he has 10 minutes of screen time at most. Yeah. Okay, I will say, of course, this is being put out before we know anything else about Season 3. Obviously, the sets have come out, but we haven't had a trailer. We haven't had anything to do with the new season. So, of course, if you're watching this in the future, it may be different. But I'm actually really looking forward to what they're going to do with Jay from here onwards, or Rogue, to be more specific. Because Season 2 Jay, well, obviously, we see him as an agent when he's trying to get Zane in the first half of Season 2. And that's a really cool little thing. I really enjoyed that scene. Jay seeing himself as the Light Ninja was actually really cool. But then we get to the tournament, and he's fighting Nia, and that's such a good fight scene. And Season 3, he's gonna be Rogue. Like, it's going to be a fantastic build-up for Jay, I'm hoping anyway. And I do obviously hope it ends up with him back on the team. But I do think they're doing a lot good with Jay in terms of Dragon's Rising. So yeah, I do fully agree with you. But yeah, thank you for your hot take. But those were the hot takes that I'm going to be looking at for this episode. And let me know which ones you agree with, which ones you disagree with, and which ones you have a hot take about yourself, because I would love to hear them, to say the least. And like I said, Quenchiest, please say you've been watching this video. I need to know more. But yeah, that is about it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Take care. Okay,